cruise to nowhere. Passengers expecting to set sail only to spend hour after hour stuck in the port of Palm Beach. We can all imagine how it feels. It has you fuming. Anchor Jay Cashmere with
I'd
more
be
of the
pretty mad.
passengers stuck on the ship overnight. Jay?
Michael, no doubt this evening we are hearing from officials at Margarita at Sea about this no-sail order that they received from the Coast Guard.
Haven't heard that in a while, no sail order.
Fort Valley, Georgia. 7-hour drive, it was a lot.
We drove from Manning, South Carolina. That's about 10 hours. We spent about a little over $200 to get here.
It's just a lot of people on the
I will never drive 10 hours for a cruise.
That cruise was set to leave
I'll buy a
port
plane ticket.
Wednesday for the Bahamas. But we were there today as passengers disembarked, frustrated, simply wanting more answers.
The sad part about it, they said we was going to leave at 10 o'clock this morning. I go down there at 10 o'clock. I'm like, is the boat leaving? She like, yeah. They waited 2 hours to say the boat was not going to leave.
A spokesperson from Margaritaville at Sea says the Coast Guard flagged items that needed action from the cruise line. While not naming the issues, the cruise line says they are working on fixing the issue.
If not any other time, these are the times when our vacations mean more to us than anything else and our time, because we are living in hard times right now for everyone.
Yes, we are.
Between the pandemic and between the economic crisis and all of the different situations that we're going through right now in the world, vacation is something that family values.
And their spirits deflated tonight. This evening, all guests are off the ship, and Margaritaville at Sea says that they're being compensated because of all the problems. Cruise line officials do not expect any additional impact to their itinerary.
So it would appear that Margaritaville at Sea is unfortunately experiencing some not so smooth sailing right now when it comes to their operations. Well, you're going to be honest, they kind of never were. If you remember, prior to all this, there was a delay when it was supposed to launch in April. It got pushed back an extra half of a month, and then there's so many other things that have gone on with Margaritaville at Sea. But when it comes to this particular story, basically this past Wednesday on July 13th, it was supposed to sail off into the sunset and start its 2-day cruise. However, there is something known as a certificate of compliance, in which each cruise line every 6 months must undergo a very intricate, very detailed inspection, and unfortunately, Margaritaville at Sea would have a couple complications. You even had the CEO of Margaritaville at Sea, O'Neill Kasha, weigh in on the matter, stating that yes, they technically failed the inspection and that they are working to fix the problem, and there shouldn't be any further impacts when it comes to this particular situation. But the reality is that a cruise got canceled due to a failed inspection. Does this fall on the passengers? No, it does fall on the cruise line. And I'm not trying to scold or talk bad or belittle Margaritaville at Sea in any way. However, I must say that I can't imagine, now given this is a smaller cruise line, it's only running 2-day itineraries, but you have a lot of people out there that were naturally excited for their cruise. Imagine if this was a 7-day or, maybe a regular cruise. Well, you know what I mean, a longer cruise. It doesn't matter in this particular situation, it's still a cruise, and you have people that are disappointed and have their vacation ruined all over a bad inspection. Now, I don't know exactly what the problem is that caused the failed inspection, but if you look at something like this, naturally people want to know more information. I know I would personally. Maybe it's a little above my pay grade, or maybe as a passenger we don't get to know these things. However, I understand the frustration with a lot of people, and when it comes to compensation, I'm legitimately curious. I'm actually digging into it right now. What exactly does that mean? Does that mean a full refund, which is justifiable, as well as maybe some future cruise credit? I guess we'll have to see in the not so distant future. Margaritaville at Sea, like I said, it hasn't exactly been smooth sailing. They've been on some rough waters at times. Not so stellar reviews, people saying that the branding as far as Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville doesn't exactly match up when it comes to the cruise ship and the resorts. Now you also have to take into consideration, back when the cruise line was just Bahamas Paradise, they did unfortunately lose one ship during the pandemic. However, even with the rebranding of Margaritaville at Sea from Bahamas Paradise, there's still the CEO, O'Neill Kasha. There is also the same staff, employees. So things are more or less the same. However, during the pandemic, we saw an unfortunate event took place in which the employees on board the ships, the crew members, were not getting paid. I'm not saying this is any correlation to anything that happened. However, being on that ship twice now and eventually going back in Margaritaville at Sea, because I was on the sailing for Bahamas Paradise. I was also on a sailing during the pandemic whenever cruising started to resume for this cruise line. And I gotta say, overall, the company does look a little disorganized at times. Still, great, it's a cruise to experience. However, I do believe that there are some pieces that need to be collected and picked up and reorganized so that things are done properly on board Margaritaville at Sea. And hopefully, moving forward, they don't deal with any more hiccups. Anyway, the Coast Guard issued a no-sail order. That is a big deal because we haven't seen that since the pandemic, which is absolutely insane for one ship to have a no-sail order. It's extremely rare, aside from the pandemic, that you hear something like that. Now, before I get out of here, I do want to give a shout out to CLIA Media. They were the ones that gave me this information, and I need to get back into my cruise news groove, so I thought we'd talk about this. I have another video coming out later today, as well as other videos on my other channel, Jay the Nomad. Make sure you guys check it out, and yeah, we'll go from there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that like button on your way out. I love all of you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Take it easy.